What's up, YouTube? Welcome to a little departure here. I know we're all focused on MH3 coming up around the corner, but I've been really enjoying the Chromatic Cube on Arena, so I thought I'd fire up a little draft here and get to hopefully showcase some of my favorite off the beaten path strats. Though this pack leaves quite a bit to be desired in that respect. So, like usually, Chromatic Cube right off the bat, what you want to be doing is taking one, if you see them, and two, especially mana rampers. So the mana rocks and then rampers in green. If you're at a table where people know what's up and that they should be taking that, then you got to pivot into something else. And there's kind of actually a lot of cool things you can do. One of the things I've been liking is these like Mardu Reanimator decks. I think those are really fun to get into. And also sort of things in the Mardu space that are aggressive. I also think blue-red spells is quite good, but that deck does really rely on you getting some kind of rampers. So you could take Hullbreaker Horror for one of the aggro, or one of the big blue spell decks. Take Chupacabra here, just like pretty nice to have, and slots into a number of different strategies, whether you're aggro, and yeah, not that like a 4-mana 2/2 is that great in terms of aggro, but whether you're aggressive, whether you're a bit more on the defensive side, whether you're getting Garuda, I love me a companion. But speaking of that Reanimator life, there's a Breach the Multiverse, and there's actually Portal to Phyrexia, which is really cool. There's actually only one way to reanimate this, I think. As far as I know, only one way to reanimate this in the cube, and that's Invasion of Tolvada. The 3 white-black, return a non-battle permanent from your graveyard to the battlefield. That's pretty sweet. I don't like to take that just to spec on it. I do like to take Breach the Multiverse, though. This card is pretty awesome, and especially if we can get something, you could end up in a blue-black life, something like Sphinx of, Sphinx of the Lost, something, the 7-mana, 5/5 blue flyer that lets you rebuy an instant sorcery or artifact. Pretty nice to chain Breach into that. I love Midnight Clock as well. That's one of my favorite and pet cards in the cube. And there's an Incubation Druid, but I kind of just want to, maybe we're going to see another 2-mana ramper in like the next pack or whatever, but I kind of want to try and get my reanimation life on. Okay, a lot of really great big spells here as well. Sort of our pick of the litter in terms of creatures we would like to reanimate. I think chief among them is going to be Atraxa. Atraxa and Atali are two of the more desirable ones in the cube. Woe Strider is nice as well, just as a thing that can find its way into the bin. But I think I'll just take Atraxa here. Prismatic Vista as a piece of fixing is nice. I find that Concealing Curtains is just not... You just don't it's something to do cheaply, and that's nice for a lot of decks, but it really costs 3 to do anything, if you're in the aggressive style decks. So I think if we were leaning that route, Valky would be better. And I like Valky a lot. I don't know if there's a way to cheat Tibalt into play, but we're going to take Atraxa here. See what we can't do. And there's a reanimation. Actually, 2 ways to reanimate in the cube. Liliana, Death's Majesty, and Elspeth, Conquers Death. But we're going to take Liliana, Death's Majesty, and very likely we can wheel Brass's Tunnel Grinder, and this is actually just a really nice way to get stuff churned through your library in these reanimation decks. So one of the things that, you don't really have like Entomb, right? So I'm talking about this Reanimator deck, and you don't really have like Entomb style effect. You've got to work for it, and a lot of ways you work for it is with Red's ability and sometimes Blue's ability to loot through your library. And Brass's Tunnel Grinder is a great way to do that. Luckily, in theory, nobody else should want this. So we're going to take Liliana, Death's Majesty here and try and wheel the Tunnel Grinder. And already have our mind going towards a black-red life. What do we have here? There's a Shattered Sanctum, a Decadent Dragon, which I don't hate. There's Rip Apart, a couple more good big spells. But yeah, I think I'm just gonna take the Sanctum here. I'm likely to end up in a Mardu space, so I think the dual land is nice. Rip Apart gets the job done a lot of the time too, and I like Decadent Dragon fine, but I think if there's not something I'm crazy excited about, having the opportunity for a land is nice. And here we have two options. I think really one. It's going to be Magmatic Channeler. Normally you look at this and you think that it's a blue-red spells card, but it's actually a nice way to get to pitch a big, you have Atraxa sitting in your hand, you get to pitch that. And likely you're just digging for a land, and it's just something to do on turn 2. There's also a Sun Titan, but you don't often have really good, cheap things to get back with Sun Titan, so it loses a little bit of its desirability in the cube. Get to take a Magmatic Channeler there, and probably follow that up with Elder Dragon War. If your opponent happens to be doing some kind of aggressive thing, or maybe if they're just lining up, a bunch of their cheap rampers, you get to pick those off with Chapter 1, but likely you're just going to be doing Chapter 2 as, again, a way to dig through your deck, pitch some big creatures, and dig into your reanimation spells, of which we already have 1/2 with Breach. So we're going to take Elder Dragon War here. And oh baby. So Calamity is really good. It depends what you end up having. Like, we did just pass Terror of the Peaks, and that's like a huge combo. It's a combo in Standard right now, right? But I've also gotten comboed out with that in this cube, actually in my last draft, I think. There's also Zealot's Conscript, which is excellent. That's a really tough one. I don't know what I'm going to take here. I think I'm going to lean Calamity. We actually don't have anything really that good to copy with it. I think I'm going to take Zealous. No, I'm going to take Calamity. Calamity seems more fun. We can style on some people more with Calamity. And if we wanted to do, like I said, there's more. You can do a more aggro version of. I mean, it's not Reanimator, obviously, but you can be a bit more aggressive in the cube. Do we take Sniper? Probably just take Caravan. It's not great, but it is a ramper. You can do a bit more of an aggressive style something in the Mardu space. That really wants to be more base red-white. One of the cards I found that's extremely important for that, and you can get it late, but it's just important that it gets opened, is Winota. Just being able to Winota attack and find something on turn 4, it just puts you pretty massively far ahead. And we can see that this deck is likely to be open. Woe Strider giving us the Scries is nice. Pylon removal spell is nice. And Valky as a 2-drop that perhaps is going to cause our opponent to stumble. Slash, I mean, it is something to do for 7. I wonder if Breach lets us put Valky into play. I don't know. Well, there's the Tunnel Grinder as we thought. Now we have 3 ways to dig through our library, which is nice. 4, I guess, with a Decadent Dragon for our opponent's library, that is. And a Siege Gang to the board. I'm, pretty happy. I mean, it's clearly open as things can seem in Cube. And we've got some nice outs in terms of our lands to pick up some white spells as we see fit. Here it's a choice between Liliana of the Veil and Mindstone. Mindstone is so unique. The 2-mana rocks, the colorless rocks, especially now that we're out of green, the 2-mana ways to accelerate, even when we're trying to be Reanimator, it's just still very good. There's a chance Lily wheels. Not everyone can make use of this. And if she doesn't, that's fine. Probably not going to wheel anything else unless Landry Storm comes around. I don't know. Elish Norn has really impressed as well. There's just so many ETBs in this cube, and being able to shut those off or double them for yourself, depending, is extremely powerful. But I am going to just take the Mind Stone here. Having relevant 2-mana plays in this cube really can't be understated. And then it's kind of a swing and a miss, unfortunately. I guess we'll take a Blood Chief's... It's Blood Chief's Thirst or Storm Carved Coast, I think. I guess you could take March. We're never getting the alternate cost on this, though. So do we want a 4-mana removal spell, or do we want outs for blue? Maybe we'd rather have outs for blue. I don't know what kind of blue stuff we would see that we would want. Maybe we want green instead. I guess I'm just going to take Thirst. I can't imagine I guess picking off a Mana Dork is pretty good for 1 mana. Lets you kind of rebuy the play sometimes. Two mana dorks. Hate to see that. What do we love to see, though? Saint Elenda is an excellent reanimation target. Really catches you up. And there's Indatha Triome. Not much else. I mean, there's Rutstein, which gets us in a kind of reanimator space. Right, some self-mill there. We could go Jund. I know I have these black-white lands, but going Jund is totally reasonable. There was a red-green land before. This Indatha Triome could wheel. It's hard because green is so desirable in this cube because, right, obviously the Scrap Gorger, the Caryatid we're seeing. I guess I'll take the Rutstein in case that ends up being possible based on, you know, whatever's going on with the table. And nothing that's crazy good, though. Philology Antiquarian is pretty sick. You know, you get to... Oh, it's duplicate of a creature artifact you control into your graveyard. That's less good. I was thinking it could be like you could just tutor up something and give it unearth. I guess that would be insane. I think I'm going to take Crossroads over Metamorph. One with the Multiverse is another one of those nice, like I was talking about Portal to Phyrexia, another one is ways to get to reanimate something with Invasion of Tolvada. But again, I would take it, obviously, if we had Invasion, but without it, I'll just take the Crossroads. This is a nice piece of fixing. Not loving how this pack is going, to be honest. So there's a Scholar of the Lost Trove, as we talked about, with Breach of the Multiverse. I think we will take that. We currently only have one. I mean, if we think about Breach as a way to reanimate, sure. We only have one way to reanimate with Lily. It's also possible we just want to take Magda. Magda is actually really nice. So one thing about Magda is that sometimes people just can't, you know, if people's curves don't start till turn 3, Magda gets out of control a little bit, or they're playing their Mana Dork, and sure, their Mana Dork trades, but you get a treasure out of it. And the other nice thing is that we have Cultivator's Caravan, so we can just crew it to get our treasure. It's not like we do have a dragon actually to grab if we want. Trax is not a dragon, is she? No, Phyrexian Angel. She's an angel. Come on, Ethan. A beautiful angel. Here we've got Timeless Lotus, but I think this is just going to be a pretty easy pathway. We haven't had the opportunity to pick one up yet, but the Surveil lands are really nice too. You know, just like you get to randomly cast Consider and Surveil a Phoenix into the bin with blue-red Arclight Phoenix. Getting to just bin a Fatty Boom Boom off of Surveil is nice too, but we'll take a black-red duel. And more nothing, though Ral's Outburst. The problem with Ral's Outburst is that often 4 mana deal 3 just isn't that impactful. The nice thing in this kind of deck is that it does bin something for you, right? You look at the top 2, pick one, put it in your hand, put the other one into your yard is nice. I'm probably just going to, again, take these white-black lands, hoping to see that invasion at some point. Tajik is another one of those really good red-white aggro cards that you can get late because no one else is really drafting that deck. Looks like we could have moved into green. Like getting a pick 8 Bramble Familiar is kind of nuts. Looks like we could have potentially moved into green this pack. And I might still, I don't know. Hard to imagine that ending up being possible for us. But there's nothing in this pack that I want. I don't want Robbery or Servitude. We wheeled the Lannery Storm, didn't wheel Liliana, but we also wheeled Fabled Passage. And Lannery Storm is a similar thing that Magda can do. Obviously, Magda doesn't. It suffers a little bit in that it comes down on 3 and not 2, and that it doesn't combo with vehicles in that way. But I think I like just taking Passage here, getting a little bit more fixing. Not sure what we would want here. Perhaps Unleash as a possible 2-for-1. Probably not. There's the Saint Elenda. It's also looking like this pack could have been an aggro life of sorts. So Temple of Epiphany and a Philology Antiquarian. Just don't have, the other problem with Philology Antiquarian is that a lot of our stuff is going to be we did wheel the Scholar. That's nice. It's going to be legendary. And so it just makes it a little hard to find good targets. Like you have it in play and then you also want to cast it or want to bin it. I guess you can have it waiting in the wings for you. All right, so we're really desperately in need of reanimation spells. Nahiri is another one of those good ways to churn through your library. Probably Bramble Familiar is out. I don't. It depends what our reanimation life ends up being like, but I don't hate these uncastables. So I'm going to assume that Plarg wheels, another way to loot. And then the question becomes, do we take Nahiri? Do we take a land? We could take something like Celestis, which is kind of interesting in terms of ramping. I think I'm actually going to take Bauble. Bauble looks bad, but it's actually just a 2-mana ramper, especially if you can cast it on one. Like, sure, it costs 3 mana, but it's in installments. Bauble's just very, very good. Now what do we have? We have a Gonti. Gonti's just good. G for good. And there's some random cards that could wheel, like Daragaz, which we could play. Mantuko Slicer's nice. I don't think we're getting in that green life. I think that ship has certainly sailed. I would love one other way to reanimate stuff if possible, but it's looking like that may not be possible. There's a Sundown Pass, a Temple of Deceit as our land options. And then, I don't know, Immortal Sun. Do we have Planeswalkers? We have Lily, yeah. Our only reanimation is Lily, so probably don't want to even accidentally shut that off. I guess we're looking at the possibility of we could have gone aggro too, seeing Sentinel, seeing Sleeper, seeing Krenko. Probably just taking a land here. We could take Wormcoil. Wormcoil's kind of sick with Calamity. Let's take Wormcoil. Okay. Dang. Still no reanimators, but Rankle is a way to pitch. As is Rafine. Rafine's a great way to churn through your library. And we do have a few ways to fix for blue. I think it's really between those two. I mean, I'm obviously seeing a Yorion. I love me a companion, but I don't think it's going to happen here. So we need Rankle and Rafine. I mean, I'm tempted to take Rafine because it's cheaper, but it is currently a double off-color splash if we think we're black-red. And Champion of Wits is a way to churn. And we're looking at, what, 3 more picks? Pick 6, pick 7, pick 8 as ways to find something to reanimate. It's not looking good, folks, I gotta say. Champion of Wits, sure. I like Champion. Champion's also something that's fine when it's just sitting in the yard, you know? Ooh, we just drop all our double pipped stuff and just play Gigantha. That should be good. That should be good. Brutality is a nice way to be able to pitch something, but I think I like Facebreaker. Get us some treasures. Oh, wow. Starnheim Unleashed. Starnheim Unleashed is very powerful. We have plenty of white fixing here. So I think we can do that. Here we go. Invasion of Tolvada. Let's go. Priest. All right. I'll take it. Priest of Felrights. That's a ding, ding, ding right there. That really does kind of save the draft. The thing about it that's so, I mean, we wheel Nahiri, we wheel Plarg. The thing about it is that so many of the cards that this deck wants are like undesirable by everybody else at the table that you should see them. So it's just kind of weird that like we only saw these two, right? You didn't see the Rakdos joins up. You didn't see Invasion of Tolvada. There's just ways to do it. We're going to take the 2-drop over the Nahiri, even though Nahiri is more powerful. Just, again, having stuff that sits lower on your curve is so important, especially when we're not as powerful as a lot of the decks that we may face, you know? Plunderer, perhaps, if we feel like we have to go aggro on someone. I think Sundown Pass, now that we've picked up a few more white cards. And this is what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 lands, so looking at 26. So probably want to make 3 cuts. I'd say like Champion of Wits can go. Scholar's not really flashing anything back other than Breach. Ooh, he did wheel Rafine. I might try and jam Rafine in here. Because, like, either we can cast it or we just pitch it, because we have so many ways to pitch our cards. And maybe we get rid of Starnheim? It's just off plan. What's that? 8 lands, right? So that's 27. That's 23 right there. And we play... Oh, do we play old Rutstein? We probably don't play Rutstein. We could play Plunderer because it does give us a treasure. Like, yes, it gives them a treasure, but hopefully we get him dead a little bit. Do we have we don't have a dragon to go find. And we also don't, like, Calamity is not doing great here. Calamity basically gets crewed by, ooh, I do like Cavalier Flame. I think Cavalier Flame's going in over Calamity. Just because, like, Calamity Wormcoil, Calamity Choops is basically it. Oh. And Arena's doing its fun thing where it's going to freeze here. So we'll see it deck building. All right, here we are for deck building. 1 plains, 1 island. The 1 island for Rafine is a little dicey. I guess I could just play Starnheim instead, or Decadent Dragon instead. I guess my mana's like good enough where playing Decadent Dragon is probably correct. Let's do Dragon over Rafine, and then don't need a forest because we're only reanimating Traxa or casting her off of some treasures. Go up red. That's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 red. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 black. We could probably swap that, and then 1 blue, 1 white. All right. It's not pretty. I'm gonna say it's not pretty, but I think it'll do some work. See you for the games. Alrighty. We'll play first against our Lutri bound opponent. And it's not a great hand, as probably a lot of our hands will be, but we have an opportunity to pitch Saint Elenda, Caravan into one of these two. A couple of Scry lands. So we'll lead on the Temple here. Plarg actually gives us a turn 2 play, but do I want that? No, because this is coming into play tapped, right? If you weren't the starting player, you may untap Forsaken Crossroads instead. So I'm playing a tap land next turn. And this tap land will be on, I think, black because we have more red sources to draw. We have another red source in our hand. We'll keep that on top. Reckoner Bankbuster. I'd love to kill that. Don't currently have that opportunity. Captain Lannery Storm. It looks like Elder Dragon War is coming down. On 2. There's Priest. Let's go. So, yeah, we're going to lead on, make this red, play Elder Dragon War, Chapter 1. Kill Lannery Storm. We're probably just, like, extremely behind. We'll pitch Saint Elenda and possibly Priest. Because that does let us just Priest Saint Elenda into play next turn, which is pretty good. Grab Faith's Fetters, drop it on Bankbuster. They're buying Lutri. Yeah, I mean, the other option is to just pitch Saint Elenda, and then we can play Gonti and Priest. But I like the idea of just having Saint Elenda in play already. I think I'm going to do that. Pitch these two. Let's just do it. Yep. Land, Priest. I guess Invoke over Fetters is better here. Cast it for free, gain 4. I assume they draw. We can also crew an attack here. Oh. They want that treasure. Okay. I mean, I was like, that's our big turn. What's your big turn? And looks like our big turn was better. I often don't. I mean, I like to play best of three just because I don't like the hand smoother and I like the prize support, but I'm often not sideboarding. Planar Disruption works on Bankbuster. Unleash. Nice on Bankbuster as well, but I think we're probably just going to run it back now. It's not great, but it's a keep. Get to lead on Temple. Play Magda. Might get to ramp out of Tybalt here. We'll see. Yeah, might get to. Bottom of land. Next match. All right, we will play first. That's a nice looking hand there. Do we want to go fetch first? Probably fetch for red. This is, yeah, slow land. Okay. I mean, the possibility of Magda making 2 treasures on its attack is explosive. And I just think double red is more... Didn't I just say goodbye to you? I think double red is more important than having our splash. We just have so many more red or even triple red cards. All right, Jadar. I assume they're blocking here, but I'll play Facebreaker and attack. Yeah, but we still get our treasure. We're still ramping. And Facebreaker actually turns that treasure into a card if we want. But that'll be a last resort type of deal. They play their 3rd basic swamp. Oh, mama. And we play Rankle. And send. And we'll both draw. Yeah, that's a card. Should we play Plunderer? Probably. We have Chupacabra coming. Like, we're just aggroing them out here. Chups killing Rankle. I think that's your only option. I mean, I get that the menace creatures are kind of scary, but I mean, I guess we'll see. Looks like they're eyeing the Facebreaker, and that's what goes down. We are going to make a treasure. Attack both. And we're going to each draw a card and lose a life. Saint Alendo, we're almost able to cast that, but we're just going to go ahead and play a Wormcoil Engine. Banishing Light Worm Coil. It's pretty annoying. Nice clean answer. I mean, it's just not 2013 anymore. Worm Coil just ain't it in terms of cube power level. Back in my day, etc. Here I think we just win, right? We're gonna choops, so we say yes to this. And then we choops the vamp. Get him for 5/6. We each draw and lose, and then that's that. Now Rankle. Now Rankle's a card I can get by. What did that card dealt them 12 damage that game? And drew us 3 cards. They're like black-white little guys. They're trying to go under. They don't know that I'm already about that life. Worm Coil seemed pretty bad. But it is the kind of card that can catch us up. I like Starnheim, maybe. But I think we're actually good. I mean, you could cut something like Brass's Tunnel Grinder on the draw, but they're not that fast. Come on. All right, this hand is a lot less exciting. It can get there. I think it's a keep. I mean, we could get rolled by them. It's possible we need to mulligan to a 2-drop. Oh, there's a 2-drop. Hopefully this is a land. Yes, keep that. Yeah, the Valky there is awesome. We get to now play Valky on 2. Disrupt them a little bit. Get Facebreaker down, etc. It's just going to get Banishing Lighted. I guess we have to take Saboteur just to stop them from doing the thing they want to do, which is attack with Companion and pick it up. They are going to want to do that, but now they're delayed. So now that I think they're basically forced to Banishing Light here. They have Yawgmoth Jadar. That's pretty nice. If we can find a second black source, our hand is good there. Not blocking. No reason to do that. Jadar, yep. Okay, my turn. Brass's Tunnel Grinder, huh? I think we just play Facebreaker. I was going to say, it's interesting they played this on white when they have Yawgmoth in hand, but yeah, now we're in pretty bad shape. Yawgmoth Jadar is going to go to town on us. It's possible. It's just possible enough that I was supposed to Tunnel Grinder last turn just to ensure. Well, lucky boy here. We get to choops the Yawgmoth. Yep. I do think we attack with Facebreaker, though. Maybe not. Maybe I'm supposed to... If I attack with Facebreaker, then they can do the pickup companion thing with their ninjutsu. No, I probably can't attack. I was thinking I just wanted the treasure, but probably can't be done. Well, I guess, though, Well, we'll see. Looks like they're thinking about sacking the companion to keep drawing. I should probably try and play that deal 7 Jund spell if we get to game 3. That's really interesting. Sack Jadar. That is very interesting. Okay. And sack. Wow, they really want Facebreaker gone. Okay. Sure. Is not how I expected that turn to go, but I'll take it. I don't want to cast Lily until this Banishing Light is gone. Grave Titan next turn is probably also just going to be a huge problem. Swarm Saboteur. Okay. I kind of like Decadent Dragon here. It gives me the potential to double spell. Alright, it does also give me lands. Touch the Spirit Realm, exiles an artifact or a creature. So that at least gives me an answer to Grave Titan. Virtue of Loyalty, okay. Still a huge problem. I mean, the Grave Titan's going to leave 2 2/2s behind. The Virtue's going to pump them. Definitely in for it. 4 unknowns otherwise in their hand. Luminous Broodmoth. This is non-token without flying. I mean, I really don't want to give you a beetle here, but am I just giving you one next turn now? Kind of looks like it. So cast Dragon, they just Banishing Light it. I do get to double spell here if I do Tunnel Grinder, pitch a Plains, and play a land and play touch on Broodmoth. Real not great Bob vibes coming in here. You're casting Virus Beetle? I guess you're going to cast Virus Beetle and Virtue. That is big. I don't really have any sweepers. Do you? Do you have sweepers? No, you have a Lolth. That's pretty good. But I think we're cooked here. Yeah, I do want to really play this Unleash, I think. So Virtue, Spirit, Banishing Light. I think we can just play it, period. Tunnel Grinder does seem a little slow. Oh, wait, I don't need this island. Now that we're not playing Rafine? I'm silly. This island just shouldn't be in here. Full stop. Hasn't come up yet, but hopefully I'll remember to do that before match 3, but that is unlikely. Again, I don't think I need to play a forest. No. Though I could. No, we have enough ways to make treasure plus caravan. I think planar disruption also wants to come in. I'm going to cut tunnel grinder. And I'm going to cut maybe breach. Because they don't seem to have really big things. I mean, they have Grave Titan. They have Grave Titan. Can't cut that. Could cut Plunderer. Did give it to him in game 1, but try that. All right, game 3. Play first. Having Elder Dragon War is really good, even though we can't cast Priest right now, but we are likely to find a 4th land or some looting or both. Temple of Silence. Oh, wow. I guess Lord Skitter can turn it into Lord Skitter next turn. Seems good. Nothing else to do with my mana. Like, this is going to get apparitioned anyway, so. No land is troublesome. But if we can draw an untapped land next turn, like if they go apparition on Valky, yep. And we get Elder Dragon War. Wrath get a 2/2. But we do not. We get to do it next turn. Well, maybe we don't if they're gonna choops. They probably don't choops Magda though. They probably Lord Skitter. Lord Skitter is actually very bad for me in terms of what I'm trying to do, but hopefully the turn that I Elder Dragon. Yeah. Oh, actually, if they block, no, they're just going to block with. No, what we get to do is Elder Dragon War, 2 damage to each creature and each opponent, yeah. Each creature, period. Oh, I should have attacked first. I thought it was each. Whoops. Whoopsies. All right, not getting the treasure there is a big miss. Not getting the treasure there is a big miss. Potentially game-losing miss, actually, because it would guarantee us the ability to Priest Elenda next turn, which we do not have currently. Okay, 2 spiders. Yeah, that's a pretty big mistake. I don't know why in my head it was just 2 damage to everything they control, because it says each opponent. I mean, that's why, but... All right. All right. Doesn't end up mattering. We're going to discard you and you. We're going to play Sanctum. We're going to get back Priest. Get back Saint Elenda, our fave play pattern here. Fetters for Lolth is probably it. Yeah. And then probably might as well attack, right? Like, they're going to choops Saint Elenda next turn. Just might as well try and get it off the battlefield even. Is that true? Choop Saint Elenda. No, I don't want to take 4. I think we're just good. Elenda down. There's a land. Now, do we play Worm Coil or do we guarantee Breach? I think I like Worm Coil. Most likely, we either draw an untapped land or something to cast. Wow. Drawing instead of playing Vein Ripper. It's a mood. Wow. Yawgmoth with Lord Skitter is extremely powerful. We probably just want to breach pre-combat. All right, you've got so many things. Resto? Does Resto do anything? So what am I getting? Rankle. We're getting Rankle. And opponent's graveyard, we are probably getting Grave Titan. Oh, Apparition for Yawgmoth is actually probably better. Yes. Apparition for Yawgmoth and Rankle. Rankle's a pretty weak hit, to be honest. Really puts them like to their decision. And they're going to sack the 3 rats. It's just a question of what they do with all those. So I think shrinking Rankle and shrinking the dragon makes sense so that the 2 spiders can block them. Killing Rankle outright is curious to me. But, you know, you do you. I assume that's the end. And you're going to double block the dragon. We're not in a good spot. But Yawgmoth has to be off the battlefield with Vein Ripper coming down. Like, that would just be GG. Okay, and now we will send... I guess their plan is to double block Worm Coil now? Now I would like to attack all, and if they want to... Like before I wasn't going to do that because they could just so easily eat the 2/2, but now it's clear that this is their plan. Do they have a sweeper too? Like, why are they so dead set? Yeah, it looks like they're going to have a sweeper of some sort, which is unfortunate. And I guess I could have not attacked with... Not attacking with Worm Coil doesn't seem like an option, given that I don't know that that's what they have. I'm just... Okay, they're digging. Digging is good. I'm so scared. Okay, land number 7. 5 mana available. 7 cards in hand. Sarah Paragon concede. Wow, was not expecting that. All right, 2-0. Alrighty, match number 3, the finals. It's not a great hand, but I think keep. A little too much on the expensive side. Go ahead and fetch up a swamp. And probably just play Channeler. Oh, I knew it. I knew I was gonna not remember to take out that island. Yeah, let's just play Channeler. And probably start by pitching, Worm Coil. There's Uro. Okay. Ooh, that would have been such a sick Valky pull. All right, let's go ahead and discard Worm Coil. Okay, take the land, play the land. I would like a black source. I also can't be so picky. Cavalier is also going to come down next turn if we want. I don't think I want that. And then I will just play Plunderer. This also might be a hand where we're in the market for a Valky, or a Tybalt rather. Do I want to give them a treasure? They're stuck on lands right now. I guess I'm going to decline. And we get Caravan. Do I want to discard anything? Could discard Gonti. Could discard Elder Dragon War. My plan, I think, is to play... Well... I'm going to discard Elder Dragon War, I think. That's what, 2 lands? Yeah, we'll get Pathway. Play it. So I could Caravan plus Valky. I can also just Gonti. That seems fine. Let's see what's up. I don't have a forest card. That's annoying. That was a pretty bad pull. I mean, it did bottom 3 lands for them, but pretty bad pull otherwise. Selvala. Another card that would have been good for us to snag with Valky. Create a treasure. I still think no. Ramping them seems bad. I'm so close to just being able to play Tybalt. Just blow up Selvala here. That seems right. Let's just do that. Play Temple. It is a land. Yeah, okay, that's fine. And then attack all. Weird game. Know that I now should definitely fire this off on 2 against them. I mean, being able to hit Uro and then on turn 3 transform it into Uro and attack. Holy cow. That's just GG. They finally hit their 4th land. Mirari's Wake. Can this exile that? Nope. Wow. What about you? +1/+1 gains haste. Is that going to kill them? 6, 7. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Almost does. Oh, will. Yes, it will. Wow, the ping from Plunderer coming in clutch. Do this. Sure, you. Oof. Okay. Boy, do they want to ramp. Unleash again, looking good. Cut Tunnel Grinder. Gosh, I think we might play Basic Forest then, just because of playing Unleash and hitting Binding. It's such corner case stuff, but Decadent Dragon can also hit Binding. Yeah. All right. All right, we learned our lesson. We're going to play Valky on 2. Maybe. Maybe. We also might play these red cards instead. They mulliganed. So we're probably going to play Valky if we can. Oof. All right, I can delay the decision 1 turn. Depend if they have a turn 2 play. All right, there we go. There we go. Nothing good. Finale, Hedron Archive, Vraska. I would take Worm Coil, but would much rather have... wow, this is just such a different mixture of cards than I was expecting to see. Finale of Eternity is incredible against us. Topping any land, yep. And if they find a second black source... Yeah. And now they can kill... Yeah, it's going to be very good for them. All right, land, Caravan. I guess Plarg is my... It's the one I want them to... I don't know, it doesn't really matter. It'll be interesting if they wait for the full value. Maybe they just play Vraska here. They're probably just going to take it, right? Kill the 2 things. Call it good. What is this? If X is 10 or more, return. Yeah. You're just gonna call it good, right? Yeah. And then we can double spell again, and we'll have Thirst to answer Vraska. It's not 2013, so I'm not that worried about Worm Coil. Okay. Saint Alenda. So we can start by discarding what? If we find target creature, if we find an untapped land off a loot, we can just cast Saint Alenda. But then we could also just cast Breach. All right, I am going to discard Saint Alenda. And we get Priest. That's pretty nice. All right, we'll attack with a treasure. We will Choops and Priest. Eldest Reborn. Okay. We will sack Chupacabra. Multiple choice. Not a card I would recommend playing in Chromatic Cube. Just played it as a little scry action. All right, let's reanimate Saint Alenda. And we're going to find, destroy Eldest Reborn. Saving Thirst, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I guess playing land. And go ahead. There's Vraska. Yeah, but I'm not sure that's what you wanted to do. I mean, I am just going to thirst that, I think. I guess the other option is could thirst a Death Touch token. I can also just sack this and reanimate it. We just Breach here. What do you got for me? You just have Wormcoil. Wow. Yeah, and I will take Saint Alenda and get Fate's Fetters and cast Fate's Fetters. An attack for 4. Trade with the Death Touch. They have to have a lot of answers here. Uro's not it. I mean, they don't have the mana yet, but they have the fodder to bring Uro back. Shouldered, okay. Sack Plarg, I guess. We have to kill that because they'll be able to flip Shouldered next turn. Saint Delenda is nuts. If you come away from this draft with nothing else, it's that this card is nuts. It's like huge problem, comes with a 4/4 and answers whatever. Like, because the spellbook is only 5 cards. So you're just going to see what one of the... What have we seen? 4 choice from the spellbook? Oh no, it's just 4. You just get one of those 4 cards. The 5th card in the spellbook is the avatar token. All right, it looks like our opponent is just roping us here, which is, doesn't make for the best content, but what can you do? We could unleash the token and then kill Hedron Archive, but I think we just have to kill Shouldered. And then we get to serve with everybody. And make a giant. Oh, we'll actually get to do, because we're going to make a treasure, then we will actually get to unleash, kill the 3/3, and blow up Hedron Archive. So we actually are going to get to do everything, and going to get to see unleash do work. And they have to rope 3 times, so... We're going to get to really give them the business. You thought you were wasting my time? No, no, no. I wanted this. Excess damage? Yeah, I'll kill your Hedron Archive. Woo! Hachi, and I do mean Machi. Oh, now you want to play? All right. Was not expecting a trophy with this deck. But I think that just goes to show, like, yeah, the clear tier 1 strategies in the cube are the ramp strategies. Like, if you can get your 2-mana rocks, your 1-mana dorks, your 2-mana dorks. The 3-mana rampers are really not that great. Like, you saw it. We passed some. I'm like kind of lackluster about playing Caravan, but it fixes all the colors. There's, what else is there? I still like Midnight Clock quite a bit, but and we really we got bailed out hard by pack 3 pick 8 Priest of Fell Rites. This deck would have had, I think, some of our best turns were pitch Priest plus Saint Delenda with Elder Dragon War, and then do that on 5. And so that's why thinking about this as a reanimator deck, it's like when you think about that in comparison to Cube, like Vintage Cube, it's like, what, I'm reanimating something that costs 7 on turn 5. How is that good? But it really can be impactful enough in this cube. And because so much of what people are doing a lot of the time in this cube is nothing, they're just doing so much setup in the early turns, that when you can put someone on the back foot a little early with a Magda or a Facebreaker, or you're ramping or Plunder or whatever, or disrupt them with Valky, it does make those later plays more impactful. So the things you want to be able to look out for the reanimation stuff is, you're going to end up Rakdos, whether it's Jund. You usually do want some white because of Priest and the invasion of Tolvada. You get Liliana, Rakdos joins up. You can do Elspeth Conquers Death. You can do the Eldest Reborn. Those are just a little slow, right? Because they're 5 mana plays that then don't reanimate till 2 turns later, but they can do it. And then just lots of ways to get stuff into the bin. Elder Dragon War, Looting, Brass's Tunnel Grinder, Magmatic Channeler, Plarg. And they're all undesirable cards. And the stuff that you're going to get at the top end, you're going to get it. Like, sure, you want to prioritize the really good ones like Saint Elenda. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see Atraxa do anything. But by and large, you're going to see big impactful plays in the cube. And it's just about how to mix it up. So, got a little lucky in that run for sure with our early concession in match 1, but hopefully you enjoyed this video, and excited to see you all later for some Modern Horizons 3 content. Bye-bye.